All right, so let's talk about this debate last night. Johanna, come on in.
Yeah.
Rest of the panel. I'll tell you what I found interesting was there was a really big, great wind-up question from the moderators right at the beginning about electability for Ron DeSantis. And the very first thing he did was then point his ire directly at Nikki Haley. It had nothing really to do with electability, but he went straight at Nikki Haley. Here it was, and then we'll discuss it on the other side.
I'm the only one running for president that has beaten these people on issue after issue. And you have other candidates up here like Nikki Haley. She caves anytime the left comes after her, anytime the media comes after her.
Was that smart? It seems like we talked about going into this, Sean, that somebody of those four has to emerge to eventually take on Donald Trump. And it seemed like that was the game plan, at least for DeSantis and Ramaswamy.
Yeah, I think the question was kind of silly to start with. There's an eligibility and a qualification level that all of them met to get into the debate, right? They each have laid out the strategy. There's 4 down. It's one of the smallest fields at this point. But Ron DeSantis, I think, did a good job of taking that question and turning it into something that potentially could have gotten him something. I don't think it did, as I said last night. I think each of them did what they needed to do, but I don't think any of them moved the needle when it comes to either Iowa or New Hampshire. But did he? By and large, you look at comments from someone like David Axelrod on the left and a lot of people on the right. A lot of people said DeSantis actually did the best performance that he's ever done. Doesn't mean that he moved the needle, but it actually, for him, he did what he has to sort of stay and fight another day.
And I think he's very much in past debates has faded into the background oftentimes, and that's what he needed to do. He needed to have a breakout moment, and he came out of the gate swinging.
He was energetic.
Energetic, absolutely. And in terms of, I think you're absolutely right, Sean. I don't know how much this debate or any of these debates moves the needle when it comes to Iowa or New Hampshire, but he needed to reassure donors or maybe get some donors onto his side.
As far as Ambassador Haley's concerned, I think two things, well, a couple of things. Governor Christie coming to her defense may not accrue to her benefit. I mean, why does somebody have to defend her in the face of these attacks from these two men to her left? Also, when you're explaining, you're losing. That's the old adage in politics. And Ambassador Haley spent a lot of time explaining last night. I didn't say that. I said this. Here's what I really said. That's not true. They attacked her on Ukraine. They attacked her on Boeing. They attacked her on her corporate backing. They attacked her at our trans bathrooms in schools. They attacked her on her intellectual, what somebody called intellectual fraud, immigration, licking Trump's boots. So she was on her heels on defense all night long, and I don't think that makes
Johanna?
her a great show.
Although, Vic, I was going to say, it was a lot of back and forth, and it is really easy to be on stage and just attack your opponent and not talk about the real kitchen table issues that are affecting ordinary Americans. And that was my frustration, right, was they were given questions that they could have answered with substance. How are you going to get the price of health care, which is too high still with Obamacare, to an average American? How are you going to make health care affordable so that we are not all less healthy? And those things weren't actually discussed. I will say, Vic, I disagree on the, DeSantis or the Christie defending Haley. I actually think it was a kind gesture that we need to see more of in politics. Be kind to your opponent and draw the distinction on policy.
It was done in such a way that, Christie was classy in doing it. He was chivalrous in doing it. She was classy in accepting it. It was really a highlight for me of the debate. It was the way debates are supposed to be. These folks being gentlemen and ladies, conducting themselves like presidents of the United States. I thought it was a highlight of the debate. I didn't think it was a negative for Nikki at all.
Interesting.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.